Ramatuba has called on the National Department of Transport for assistance, saying provincial and municipal resources are not adequate and capable of carrying out critical repairs.
And the intervention of the national government, in particular, Department of Transport through SANRAL, must be extended to provincial and district roads.
Forecasters warned that rainfall in Limpopo is expected to continue into the next week, raising concerns about more flooding and damage. Meanwhile, flights in and out of Hoedspruit have resumed after aviation activities in the area ground to a halt earlier this week in Limpopo due to the province being battered by heavy downpours that damaged roads, closed schools and disrupted services. Mungezi Koko has more.
Airlink says flights to and from Hoedspruit resumed this morning after being suspended midweek due to severe flooding that restricted access to the airport. The airline has cautioned that operations remain subject to weather conditions and the situation on the ground as rain continues to fall across the region. Hoedspruit Airport serves several communities as well as the Kruger National Park and nearby lodges, many of which were left isolated when floodwaters cut off roads and access routes. Airlink says it is in constant liaison with local stakeholders including sandparks and private lodges and will continue to update passengers should conditions change. The resumption comes as the Limpopo provincial government provides an update on its response to the flooding and recovery efforts. Mungezi Koko, Eyewitness News, Limpopo.
We move to KwaZulu-Natal, where 3 people have died following an accident between a bakkie and a truck on the N3 earlier today. The accident took place this morning on the N3 eastbound towards Durban between the M13 bridge and Shongweni off-ramp. According to preliminary reports, the bakkie was travelling westbound towards Pietermaritzburg when it lost control and collided with a truck travelling towards Durban. The bakkie caught fire after crashing into concrete barriers, burning 2 occupants beyond recognition, while another got thrown out of the vehicle upon impact. Provincial Transport spokesperson Ndabezi Nhlesibia.
It is very unfortunate that this accident comes after we recorded a decrease in fatalities and accidents. The scene of the accident is still active as and the Durban-bound lane is closed to enable the recovery and cleaning up process to proceed.
As the class of 2025 prepares to embark on the next chapter of their academic career, Parliament's education committees say they are concerned by the disjunct between the number of bachelor's passes and available spaces at public universities. Meanwhile, the Higher Education Committee chairperson, Relebogile Mabotja, has noted that delays in releasing the matric results will consequently also delay academic institutions from formally accepting prospective students. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
Last year's matric cohort produced 345,000 bachelor's passes. Yet there are only around 235,000 first-year places available at state universities for the 2026 academic year. Basic Education Committee Chairperson Joy Maimela says many qualifying learners risk being excluded from opportunities as a result.
This growing gap underscores the urgent need for closer collaboration between the Department of Higher Education and Training to develop viable pathways for transitioning learners into post-school education.
But Chairperson of Parliament's Higher Education Committee, Relebogile Mabotja, says learners should also consider studying at private institutions, but to be wary of whether their courses are accredited.
Some are bogus or fly-by-night institutions, but masquerading as registered institutions. Students and parents should be vigilant and report such institutions.
Mabotja says training, vocational and community colleges should not be viewed as a last resort because they teach much-needed skills. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And China and Canada have reached a landmark deal on tariffs and visas. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney and Chinese President Xi Jinping met today and announced the strategic partnership. Among the key concessions, the two leaders have agreed that China will lower tariffs on Canadian canola seed, while Canada will allow 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles into its market. China will also allow Canadian visitors to enter the country visa-free. Gold's trading at $4,600.87 an ounce. The rand's at 16.38 to the dollar, at 21.96 to the pound, at 19.03 to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $64.42 a barrel.
Protea Glen Soweto traffic heavily backed up N12 westbound approaching the R558, while in Benoni traffic remains sluggish on Rangeview Road between Dube and Tom Jones.
And look at your weather. It's a cloudy afternoon in Gauteng today with scattered showers and thunder showers expected. Temperatures are peaking at highs between 26 and 28 degrees. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. The death toll from the flooding in Limpopo has risen to 9.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja
Live, streaming countrywide
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Nine minutes after 1 o'clock. Welcome to 7:02 Afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja. Happy Friday. Yo, those of you that started work this week like me, you're like, inning Friday. It is today. Let us make it a good one. Coming up on the show today, I'm so looking forward to this conversation. And our food feature for today, we have season 5 winner of MasterChef coming through to talk all those new year, new me, new body tips, but also just helping all of the parents with healthy options for their kids' snacks, and share with us what it is you're doing for your kids' lunch boxes and scuffteens. 702 Unplugged, we're going to be joined by Lerato Orchestral Collective, and I'm so looking forward to that conversation. They've already been sound checking, so you know it is going to be a vibe. And then we wrap up with the upside of failure. Today we're joined by South African actor Emmanuel Castes. You may have seen him recently on Bad Influencer or known some of his other work on shows like Isidingo. I'm so looking forward to chatting to him as well. Get in touch with us 011 883 0702, SMS us 31702, tweet at Relebogile M at Radio 702 using the hashtag 702 Afternoons and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
702 Afternoons
with Relebogile Mabotja
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. 702
Food feature.
Food feature for today, and we actually thought, you know what? Because schools have started, it is January. There are so many tips that need to be shared, and we will continue to showcase the spaces one can go eat at. Send your recommendations to 702 afternoons at 702.co.za. But today, I am so proud and honored for us to be chatting to MasterChef winner, MasterChef South Africa Season 5. But just so you know, she was not only the youngest, as in she is the youngest of all MasterChefs around the world to win, and the first black woman to win MasterChef South Africa. And she goes by the name Bridget Mangwandi, and she's going to share some tips and tricks with us. Number 1, eating cleaner and healthier for 2026. And like kind of resetting what it is you're doing in the kitchen, but also some tips for parents, caregivers. Maybe you are a child who's already at a place where you have to make your own scuffteen. This is the space for you, and please send through all of your ideas and recommendations. Bridget, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be chatting with you guys. It's about back to school, new me, new everything. Let's do it.
Let us do it. So I have to ask, Bridget, before we jump into everything, how did life change for you after winning MasterChef South Africa?
Oh, on my side, how everything changed. Honestly, Besides, of course, the money.
Girl,
it has changed.
I hope you still have change or you're living
come
in
on.
that
I'm
apartment.
very responsible. I even moved back home and everything, because I was just like, I need to reset and know what path I want to do and what I exactly want to do with it.
Yes.
So it's kind of still intact, besides business ventures and all. And just on my side, I've kind of said this year I want to fully focus on school and still building that brand. Of course, there will still be the usual things you guys see me doing. I want to focus more on building a long-lasting, proper, this is Bridget, bona fide. So let's do it. That's kind of what I'm focusing on this year.
So for everybody who does not know, Bridget is completing her studies. She's working. So you were initially working towards a qualification in food science,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So
yes.
what are
and
you...
I took kind of a break, yeah.
What are you studying now?
Now I'm still studying the same thing. I'm just now finishing it off, and then we're going to start something new. But kind of what I've been wanting to focus on is giving back in terms of the education of, cooking, especially with the youth and, the black child. So that's kind of what I've been now, my eyes on the prize there. And you guys will see it come to fruition pretty soon.
So you have to share with me why the studies were so important because, so many people might think, well, now you've won. And you've got the badge and you've got the money. Why not use that momentum to just keep moving on with your career as opposed to now going back to school?
In all honesty, I really love food science as a career. I think I really enjoyed it, especially it was something I always wanted since grade 10. So it's that thing that I really feel I need to accomplish. Besides that, I think it also gives me such a deeper understanding of food to be able to then give that education I want to do with those prize winnings and all and what I want to achieve for the future. So I still want to be educated and also have the knowledge and the capacity to be more educated and to know what I'm talking about when I'm teaching.
You see a queen, guys, role model. We are talking about this one.
Experience is great. Yeah, experience is great, but you need to have the papers.
I absolutely love that, Bridget. All right, let's kick off with the part of the New Year, New Me, because a little birdie told me that you actually have been trying to eat clean. The scale is going down.
Hey, yes.
So,
and not even on purpose. That's the crazy part.
That's not okay. So maybe tell us before we jump into that, what is your personal food ethos? Because we know many people that are chefs, they work differently for themselves, maybe at home versus what they do within their businesses and in their workspaces.
To be honest, my food is very rich, very heavy, very delicious. I'm talking mac and cheese with oxtail, if I'm feeling that. Yesterday I did oxtail Jamaican style with some beans and rice. It was so good. Let's just say that's what I like to cook. Yeah. So for me, what I was trying to do now in the new year, and not even in the new year, since my birthday in November, I think that's where I was noticing that I was kind of, getting a bit, and I was like, okay, we look good. But then I didn't even notice that drinking a lot of water, I was exercising out the house a lot. I ended up dropping quite a bit. So I think I would say skipping breakfast works or eating very small works.
Yes, yes.
In my capacity. Builds up that metabolism, especially in fiber, lots of fiber. I've been doing a lot of fiber, eating a lot of chia, smoothies, all that. So, and it's chocolate flavored. So I guess I really just didn't notice what I was doing.
When people say eating cleaner, because obviously, and I share with all the listeners, please keep in mind what works for Bridget is not going to necessarily work for you.
Please.
We know that all of our bodies are biologically different and they respond differently. If you're not sure, please go and consult a nutritionist or a dietitian or any of the relevant specialists. Some people have allergies, some people are intolerant. So please just keep that in mind while we have this conversation. But for you, Bridget, whenever I think eating clean, especially because I know a lot of people are fasting for church, I imagine, they are just having like fruit and veg. And they keep things very simple. I don't want to use the word bland because people might come for me. But some people, they just really go bland. They even ease up on the seasoning. What does eating clean mean for you?
For me as Bridget, and it's strictly for Bridget, not anybody else, I really would say that it comes from the consistency, and it comes from, I walk my dogs twice a day, let's just say that. So that's, a few Ks we're doing that. And you don't need to do the fancy supplements, the expensive trendy meals, buy matcha, buy this. You don't need to do none of that. I would really just say you keep your routine, do the hiking, do the exploring, all those little things, and eventually you're going to find those enjoyable activities help you actually drop a few as well. As well as, of course, your liquids, your fiber intake. It's very important as well. So that's what worked for me, I would definitely say, yeah.
There's somebody here on my TikTok live. He calls himself Donut Guy, who says, eating cleaner for me, I just make sure I eat clean Russian and clean slab chips.
Real. It makes sense.
I love it for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't mean you have to change what you're eating. I still love to eat a nice heavy meal, a hearty meal at the end of the day, but it means I'm just eating one meal. I'm not having 2 servings, or maybe for breakfast in the next morning, or sometimes. But, it's
Yes.
one of those type of things for me. It doesn't mean now I'm completely just eating cucumbers and carrots and I don't want to see anything delicious. No.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we continue with Bridget in our food feature.
Enjoy the thrill of the Soccer Panthers Challenge Weekend Edition, an all-new platform from Hollywood Bets. You stand a chance to win a share of the 5 million rand jackpot when you bet 5 rand or more on selected EPL matches over the weekend and correctly predict 10 out of 10 winning margins. Or chase the share of the 50,000 rand leaderboard prize. Entry is free. Let this soccer season bring sizzling success. Bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
Getting ready for university. Let South African Airways take the pressure out of your travel. Enjoy all-inclusive one-way fares from Johannesburg to Durban from 690 Rand, from Johannesburg to Gqeberha from 655 Rand, and from Johannesburg to Cape Town from 1,144 Rand. Plus, pack more of what you need with 2 checked bags instead of 1. On sale until the 12th of February. Travel by 12 Feb 2026. Book now at flysaa.com. T's and C's apply.
A man driven to the edge. I don't know where you are. I don't know who you're with. When his beloved takeaway was taken away. I will look for you. I will find you. And I will eat you.
It's the summer of stars at Simply Asia. Stand a chance to win a Toyota Starlet when you spend 200 Rand or more on our famous flavors. Order now. Simply Asia. Connecting the Thaiway.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
Confirmation from British American Tobacco themselves that they've decided to shut down their last cigarette factory in South Africa. Johnny Mabotja is the head of corporate affairs for BAT Sub-Saharan Africa.
There are potentially 230 jobs at risk. Where we are today is that over the last 10 years, we've tried the best to hang on, to not come to this painful decision. But the reality is that we are only operating at just 35% of total capacity at the factory.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB. That's how we're invested in your story. Your story matters. ABSA is a registered FSP.
702.
Food feature.
21 minutes after 1 o'clock, and we continue with our food feature. We are chatting to season 5 winner of MasterChef South Africa, Bridget Mangwandi, as she chats to us about New Year, New Me, eating clean, but also helping parents, caregivers as well with some tips for lunch boxes. 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. Bridget, I have to ask, what are your thoughts in terms of, when we speak about eating clean, all of the things that you mentioned, it almost sounds like you intentionally left out processed foods, because for me, I imagine eating clean as taking the processed stuff out and keeping it as unrefined and natural as possible. Bridget, did we lose you? Bridget. Oh, there seems to be a challenge with our lines here. But while we get Bridget back, a message reads as follows. Congratulations to Bridget on all her achievements and enthusiasm for life. Best wishes for her studies and for a bright future ahead. That's Dr. Philemon Mahuma, one of our regulars. So just so you are all aware, Bridget said she didn't touch the money. Do you guys want to know how much she won? She won 1 million rand. And she said she moved back home so that she could focus. And I absolutely love that for her. So let's see if we can hear one another. Bridget, hey.
Awesome, I'm back. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. There we go. So you were about to respond to the part about the eating clean and processed foods.
Yeah, for me personally, I don't really cook a lot of my. I cook a lot of my foods. I don't really eat a lot of processed foods. Let's just say, like the chips, the what, not really. So I think that also plays a big role. But where I do fall short is the butter. That's where it really takes a toll.
It makes everything just taste so much nicer.
Exactly.
Oh.
For me, learning not to cook with butter, that was something interesting.
I got you there.
But absolutely. But definitely another thing I would definitely also add is portion control. You shouldn't eat a lot of food, or at least eat a little bit and see how you feel in 30, and then eat a bit more if you're still hungry. That too.
All right, let's jump onto, or rather before we jump onto the kids' lunch boxes, what are your final tips that you would share with everybody who is trying to kind of reset their diet? We know there are many people who say they need to detox as well from all the drinking. What else would you recommend?
If you're talking detox, water is your detox. No teas, no supplements. Besides that, portion controls, eating more nutritious foods, more filling foods. Your eggs in the morning is something you could start off with, and then you eat something later on in the day, if not at night. That's something that really helps. And lots of fluids and fiber.
Okay, those are really good tips. Let's move on to the lunch boxes. And I can only, I recently just came from a parents' evening where they were saying, parents, please, for your kids in creche, keep those.
It's that time of the year.
Yes, keep those lunch boxes healthy, because if one kid is coming now with something, it just expands. What are some of the treats that parents could maybe look at that still are on the healthier side, like maybe instead of Rice Krispie treats that use marshmallows, they do it with, yogurt and freeze that instead?
Yeah, I would say when it comes to lunchboxes, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated, because I think kids like an experience more. They like something that looks fancy, and to you, it's something simple, So what I was thinking is things like your little pot stickers, and you put wors in the middle of that. Meatball skewers. It's little things that I think kids will be like, okay, I get to dip it in soy sauce. Oh, I get to dip it in this little sauce or mayo or whatever. And they feel fancy eating it. And it's still a new experience. It's still healthy. It's still got the veggies in it and all of that you wanted in it.
What else in terms of things like pairings that maybe can be exciting? So, if you're saying a lunchbox maybe should look at having some form of protein, maybe little bits of treats of a sugar burst in the form of fruit, and that fiber. There are so many hidden gems. You mentioned chia seeds, which kind of seem like they're a little bit trendy, but they kind of are doing their job.
Yeah, they do their job as well as other small things. For me, growing up, I used to make peach cobbler. That was something I loved making. It's simply your sugar, your flour, bit of butter, salt, and you've got that crumbly mix, right? Then you've got whatever fruits in the fridge, your peaches or maybe your apples or your pineapple even, and you cook that out, make a nice delicious sauce with some honey and stuff. And that is a dessert looking. You add a bit of yogurt to that. That's basically a dessert type of breakfast vibe, and the child enjoys it. I enjoyed it. So I do think that's something that a lot of people can try making, like your crunchies, all those type of sweet little things, but it's not too sweet and overkill.
What are the things that have the most, in your view, kind of hidden sugars, like tomato sauce, for example, places where people wouldn't imagine that those extra calories and extra not so great things are hiding?
I think it would come with the processed things you're buying, the chips, the things you sell at the tuck shop sometimes, but most times if a school is telling you, oh, mitigate what's in the child's lunchbox so that it should be healthy, sometimes what they do have at the tuck shop might be also all right. But I would say giving your child the snacks, you get to control more in terms of that sweetness and those portion sizes and all of that stuff if you send them to school with those treats and everything so they're not forced to buy.
In terms of the whole MasterChef experience, was it something you knew you always wanted to do? Because I know that there are some people who go into it maybe like in the celebrity season. Lorna Maseko went in as a dancer and a presenter, and then suddenly she's there and now she is full into the food world.
Yeah, there's lots of things that I think a lot of people enjoyed about MasterChef. For me personally, I always watched it. I never thought I'd really enter it. It was something, you imagine it, role play in the kitchen and all, but it's not something that's like, oh, one day when I'm 18, I'm going to enter it. But I'm glad that I did it later on in life because I got to also do it at a young age as well, as we all know, and accomplish so much. And I think I was very mentally ready, prepping myself all those years. I didn't know what I was prepping myself for, but at the end of the day, that's the destination, well, God chose.
Indeed. We've got a voice note that has come through on 072 702 1702.
Good day, Relebogile and your guest, Master Chef. I want to know, in terms of salt, what are the foods, what are the seasoning or any other thing that you can put in food instead of putting salt directly? Because I don't know, maybe it's only my tongue, my family's tongue, or the people in my circle, or the people in Pretoria perhaps. Salt doesn't taste like it used to. You put a lot of salt these days for you to be able to get taste out of the food we eat, and using too much salt ends up affecting our health as well. Cholesterol, high blood pressure, hypertension. What are the alternatives instead of putting direct salt?
Oh, I think also if you are having salt challenges, please go get that checked out to make sure there aren't other underlying issues. But a great question, what are good salt alternatives?
I think what comes to me immediately when I heard something besides salt but still has that, brings out the flavor of the food. If we're talking, for example, things on meat, I would put a soy sauce as something that works. Soy, that does evoke the salts of the food itself. That's what immediately came to my head.
Soy sauce sounds like a good one. And again, I remind everybody, please don't take anything being said as advice. Go and consult your nutritionist and your doctor. Bridget, uko pasaning, when is the graduation?
Oh my gosh, we just started coming back to school.
Because we need to be watching you. We need to be watching you.
Absolutely. But it's coming soon.
We will continue to follow your work. Where can we see you on the socials, Bridget?
You can find me with Bridget_Mangwandi on all platforms. You're pretty much fine with my name and surname. And yeah, you can kind of keep up with my journey a bit. Instagram and Facebook is where I keep it up the most.
There we go, Bridget Mangwandi. Do not forget MasterChef Season 6 starts in its brand new home on ETV on the 22nd of February at 6 p.m. It's just after 1:30, time for your latest Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Relebogile. Good afternoon. The death toll from the flooding in Limpopo has risen to 9 as search and rescue operations continue in some of the worst affected areas. The provincial government briefed the media this afternoon on the heavy rains that have battered parts of the province for days. Yesterday, the South African Weather Service upgraded its warning for Limpopo to a red level 10, the highest alert, warning of extreme conditions with a real risk to life and infrastructure. We move to the courts still in Limpopo, where the suspected mastermind behind the Parapara burglary allegedly bought his girlfriend a Mercedes-Benz worth R500,000 with the stolen US dollars from President Cyril Ramaphosa